Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo TV. We're back with another one. Yeah. We have a very interesting story we want to talk about. In this situation here, we have a white man, a drunk, intoxicated white man who was badly beaten by savages from the FBA community. And I want to talk about this issue because they beat him because he used the N-word. And the way they respond to the hate is with hate. And we got to talk about it. Because they didn't just beat him, but they stripped him. And I don't know what is these men's obsession with stripping men. Like, I don't get it. They stripped this man naked, beat him with pipes, sticks, kicks. I mean, you name it. Let's take a look at the story, find out what's going on in the news.
Video surfaces of a man police say might have been a victim of a hate crime. This happened after officers say an intoxicated man walked into a Marshall County club and used the N-word when referring to the patrons.
Investigators say that the bar is also a problem spot. They say that they respond to it several times every weekend.
Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson is live outside CJ's Lounge on Memphis Street in Holly Springs. So, Daniel, how is this man police are calling a victim?
Daryl and Darcy, good evening to you. Good evening to you at home. They say he didn't go to the hospital until today. He believes he may have a broken jaw. Meanwhile, CJ's Lounge is now closed. Police say that they were operating without a beer or a business license. Holly Springs police say cell phone footage they provided to Fox 13 News shows a Tippah County man who has been stripped naked. They say the people who attacked him are seen pouring on him what investigators believe to be beer. Officers say seconds before, they hit, kicked, and stumped nearly every part of his body.
The guy walked in and he was very aggressive.
Miles Stone says he was at CJ's Lounge on Memphis Street late Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Other guys in the area was listening, trying to remain calm. We asked them, they asked for him to leave quietly.
But police say the man continued to call the patrons the N-word. Holly Springs police provided another video of the man outside the bar, speaking erratically, throwing what investigators believe to be gang signs.
When they was scuffling and stuff outside, he was still trying to fight. He still was saying the N-word. Man, F-U-Ns, F-U-Ns.
Officers say the attackers used poles and sticks to beat him. So you don't think this is a problem spot?
I do not think. I think it's a positive spot.
But Holly Springs police disagree. The police chief estimates they've been to some 30 calls over the last 3 months CJ's has been open. They say there have been fights, guns found inside, and a man shot in the foot. The chief tells me they're pushing the district attorney to declare it a nuisance.
I'm not standing for anything like that. However, we have to live with our choices, and he made a choice by going into there aggressively, and he has to live with the choice he's made.
Back out live here in Marshall County. Again, you're taking a look at that letter that was placed on the door. We should mention that police tell us right now they have a person of interest who they would like to speak with. Meanwhile, if you were here, you have information, you're asked to call the Holly Springs Police Department. Well, what does the victim remember about what happened? I'm working on that part of the story for Fox 13 News at 6. DG.
Okay, so based on the information that you got, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the content. Let's find out exactly what's going on here. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clear, that everything is good. How everybody doing? Everybody's good out there. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Hope everybody's driving safe and that you're at peace. There's a lot of problems here. Number one, the FBA community is back at it again. For those that don't know what FBA mean, it is a movement that is ran by Tariq Nasheed called the Foundational Black Americans. So they believe that if you're black and your family are descendants of the slave trade, then you're a foundational Black American. So what we have are foundational Black American savages that beat a naked white man with sticks, kicks, and everything imaginable because he used the N-word. Now, what is the problem? Well, first of all, he's intoxicated. When a man is intoxicated, right, and he walks into a bar, there are certain protocols you can use. Number one, you can call the police. But see, why would you do that when your bar is a nuisance? You're not operating with a license. You're not even supposed to be in business. You don't got a business license. This is typical savage behavior. And when you talk about these issues, you're labeled a coon, you're labeled a Sambo, you're labeled all of these different names. But who runs a business without proper license? Who has a business and don't have a license? They don't make no sense. Police have been called to this location many times due to the fact that it is destroying the community. Everybody's drunk. Everybody acting the fool. Now, is it right that the white man used the N-word? No, it's not right. But when are Black folk going to get over this N-word and move on? Because I find it to be very hypocritical that you would strip a man, which is kind of suspect, because I don't understand why you guys stripped him unless you like seeing naked men. It's just, some people would say, well, we did that to humiliate him. So where did you learn that from? Where did Black men learn to strip other men as a way of humiliating them? Why do you like seeing men naked? See, all of this goes back to the suspect behavior of prison life. And a lot of times when you have Black men that engage in taking off men's clothes as a way to humiliate him, these are things that these men engaged in prison. Because no man in his right mind want to see other men naked, right? There's certain things as men you're supposed to know. Number two, they jumped him as a gang. This wasn't a one-on-one encounter. This is a group of savages beating a naked, intoxicated man who is not even in his right frame of mind. So automatically, this is a hate crime. So it went from a white man using the N-word, using a slur, right, to Black folk from the FBA community, having a situation here where now it went beyond the situation. It's one thing if he used the N-word and you guys call the police. They come in, they lock him up, public intoxication, everything follow the proper protocols like decent human beings would. But no. Savages always resort to savage behavior. And what they do is they decide to beat him with sticks, poles, kicks, strip him naked, and he's intoxicated. So all this does, it creates way more problems. And there will be more arrests, more issues. The bar was shut down. I mean, everybody loses. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Now you don't have a place to hang out now. Now you don't got nothing. You see? And what's happening is in the FBA community, nobody want to talk about how in the Black community, we have a lot of people that have this mindset that if a white person used the N-word, it's as if though we need to beat them up. That's the solution. No, that's going to get you in prison. You're a savage. When are you going to get over this word? I seen somebody earlier. Let me see if I could put this in the chat, guys. Not in the chat, on the screen. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see what we got. And make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So where we at? Okay. Somebody named Egalitarian 207 says, how would you respond in that situation? Well, I won't respond because I'm not a ninja like you. See, this is the problem between me and you. I'm not a ninja. I mean, a white man could come around me and say N-word, N-word, N-word. Doesn't move me because I'm not a ninja. I don't think like you. See, in the FBA community, you guys are very emotional, very weak, and you call each other N-words all day, but you don't strip and beat each other up. So why you do this to white men when they say that word? It's because you hate white people. and you think like a slave. And it's true, because here's the thing, guys. Black folk from the FBA community, they call each other N-words every day. Yo, what up, my N-word? Hey, yo, that's my N-word. Women call black men N-words all the time. They be like, I need a new N-word. You know, my N-word is this and blah, blah, blah. They call each other this every single day, but it's not a problem. It's only a problem when a white man say it. And then all of a sudden, everybody want to unite. You ever notice that, guys? So-called savages in the black community, they know how to unite when white people call them N-words. But they only unite when it comes to doing savage behavior. They don't unite to start businesses, to build communities, to rid crime from their communities, to get rid of gangs, to get rid of the drugs. They never unite for that. But they unite for savage behavior, guys. This is what they do. So again, this person, egalitarian, says, how would you respond in that situation? I wouldn't respond because I wouldn't even be at the bar. I wouldn't even be in the situation. And even if I was around a racist white man, it doesn't move me. I live around various kinds of people. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I live in a community where it consists of black, white, all different types of people. I know for a fact that there are racists that live right around me. And guess what? I don't care. You know why? I don't know them. I don't want to know them. I'm not friends with them. I don't care. They could say N-words. I don't like black people. I don't like them. And I don't care. You see the difference? So when you say, how would you handle that situation? What you're telling me as a black man is that you don't have the ability to resolve situations, especially something so minor. So you mean to tell me if a white man says N-word, it calls for you becoming violent and become an animal and a savage and lose your job, your freedom? Now the bar is shut down. If you ninjas would have just called the police and let the police come do their job by arresting this publicly intoxicated man, they would have got him up out of there. They wouldn't even ask you guys about licensing and all this other stuff with y'all bar. They would have just packed up the drunk white man and brought him on out. But no, you guys took it in your own hands to start to become hateful, and you became savages, and you decided to strip him naked. Y'all did too much now. So now they wanted to investigate. This is the same problem bar that been causing so much problems in this community. Imagine, in every so-called FBA community, there's always a bar, always a liquor store. You know what I mean? In every one of these communities. And what does the people do? They're drunk all day and they're violent all day. So not only was the white man drunk, but the patrons that was at the bar was drunk. So two wrongs don't make a right, guys. We cannot look at the white man and say, but he should have never said the N-word. Well, you ninjas went out there like gang members and started to attack him. And it went from the white man using a slur to you guys being charged with hate crimes, because that's how the media is seeing it now. So what you did? You now made black people as a whole look bad now. So now the civilized working class black folk, because we're all not the same, you know, just because I'm black, just because you have people from the FBA community, it does not mean we the same people, because we're not the same people. A lot of these folks from these other communities, they look like us, but they're not us. They're savages. And what you see here don't represent me. You know what I mean? I'm not in a bar worried about who's saying N-words. I don't care about none of that stuff. That stuff don't move me. You know what I mean? It really don't. The same egalitarian says, you think they were wrong? So hold up. You think they were right? So let me get this straight. You believe that it was right for a group of black savages to attack, strip, and beat a white man to a pulp because he used the N-word? So are you suggesting they should kill him? Would that be the appropriate way to do? Is that how the black community solve all their problems? Is that how we do? What about de-escalating? What about having certain skills on how to resolve matters? What about that? What about being an example? What about calling the police? It's like you guys rushed to the gun and start beating a man while he drunk. Isn't that a crime too? Beating an intoxicated man is also a crime because he's drunk. He's not in his right mind. They even said while they were beating this man, he was still calling him the N-word while he was being beat to a pulp. So it's a crime on all fronts. Y'all don't know that? You could get in trouble just for beating the crap out of an intoxicated man because he's not in his right mind. Even if he's doing something wrong, just call the police. You know what I mean? Just call the police, do what they got to do, and leave it alone. But you guys took it in your own hands, became savages overnight, and yet you ain't solving your own problems in the black community. Y'all unite when it comes to beating white men, but you can't unite to get rid of the crime. You can't unite to get the drugs out the community. In every black community, there's crime, drugs, gangs. How come black men can't rid those problems from the community? Why is it that black women got to live in constant fear of being raped and robbed and harassed by black men because the black men in the community are not stepping up to the plate to make sure that the community is safe? All they want to do is drink Henny, smoke weed, and sit around waiting for a woman to take care of them. And half of you ninjas that would literally defend these animals and savages literally are living with a woman right now. You don't want to work. You don't want to provide nothing. You sit on your ass all damn day playing PlayStation while that woman go out to a hard day's work. And some of you ladies that harbor these savages in your house, you need to kick his ass out. I'm tired of these games. I'm tired of seeing these black men out here being savages and complaining about everything concerning white men. Let me tell you something, folk. If you're black and you're listening to this video right now, this live, white people don't give a fuck about you. Listen very carefully. Let me make sure you see me clear. Listen to me very carefully. White folk don't give a fuck about you. They're not thinking about you. Most of them don't like you. I'm just being honest. Not all, but most of them, for the most part, they don't care for you guys. So what you need to do is move on and stop worrying about white people. Stop worrying about N-words and develop your own life and stop letting a word keep you oppressed, because it's like anytime that word come in, you guys turn into monsters, you turn into savages, and you feel you gotta be angry and express yourself. You don't gotta do that. All you gotta do is just walk away. All you gotta do is, let me tell you something. You know what burns white folk more than anything? Seeing a black man shine, seeing a black man successful, seeing a black man living good, driving good. That burns a racist. That burns a white person who hate black people. But at the end of the day, I don't care what white people think because I'm not thinking about white people all day. They got their own issues. I got my own issues. We don't think about each other. But you folks that hate white people so much, you think about them all day. You constantly worrying about what white people think. I keep telling you, listen, I live in a community that is predominantly it's more white folk here than black, but we got black folk here. Matter of fact, it's a lot of black folk moving in and it's a lot of white folk moving out. And there's a reason for that, because when black folk move in, normally white folk move out. You know, I always heard that when I was in the hood. I used to always hear that when black folk move in, it's like white folks start getting uncomfortable. They start selling their houses, and you know, you start seeing their houses up on the market for sale. And you know, I'm driving around, I'm looking around, I'm listening to people, I'm hearing voices, I'm hearing things, I'm looking at for sale signs. How many of you ever been there? I know I see it in the community, fam. I know some people probably watch my channel from this community right here, and they probably like, damn, man, he ain't lying. I'm looking around, fam. I'm seeing for sale signs on houses. I'm looking at neighbors selling their houses. I'm seeing multiple people selling houses, bro. Houses for lease, houses for sale. Why? Because black people moving in. It is what it is, man. Telling you. For some reason, guys, they don't like seeing us in the community, fam. And it's because a lot of times we get into the community and we have certain degenerates from our community that are savages. And unfortunately, it gives all of us a bad rap. You know what I mean? We have a lot of decent black folk that are out here that are living their life, doing their thing. But then you got these savages that make us all look bad. Just like in the white community, you got some white people that white people just don't like. Yeah, I think all white people get along. There are some white people. First of all white people are not the same. There are some white people that don't like certain white people. They're annoyed when they see them. They get upset because they feel like they're making them look bad. That's why I stay to myself. You know what I'm saying? From time to time, I might chit chat with a neighbor here and there. If somebody, there's certain, neighbors in the community that are white that I might chit chat here and there. They seem like cool people. I don't know them personally, but they seem like decent people. You can have conversations with them. See, the problem is this. We got to stop the hate. That's where it really stops. We got to stop the hate, right? There's an issue because we don't really, we don't understand each other's cultures. So what happens is when we get around, for example, when black folk get around white folk, we get nervous. We feel like we got to do extra. We got to feel like and same thing with white folk. When they get around you, they don't know what to do. So it's like everybody's suspicious of one another. And because of all the stereotypes and all the drama going on in the media, we just naturally hate one another for no apparent reason. That's why I just stay to myself. The only time I speak to people is if they speak to me. You know what I mean? Or if we meet eye to eye and it's like, it's kind of awkward. Somebody got to say something. You know what I mean? You just can't just be, like with tunnel vision all day. You know what I mean? Especially if you grown men. Grown men are supposed to be men and stop acting like damn kids. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you a family man. Now, we may have different cultures, have different belief systems, but if you live amongst each other in a community setting, there has to be a sense of peace, man. There has to be a sense of respect for one another. It doesn't matter what your nationality is. If you're white, black, we still got to respect one another. You know what I'm saying? We still got to respect each other's property. We got to respect each other's families. You know what I mean? There may be a little tension. I get it. But we still got to respect one another. So when we see stories like this and we realize that these black men, these savages from the FBA community, beat this white man to a pulp, stripped him naked, pouring beer on him. I mean, that's the equivalent of possibly wanting to set him on fire and kill him. But then now, if this happened to a black man, then all of a sudden now we're going to be saying, oh, these racist this and these racist that. So think about how the white community is looking at this situation. Because a lot of times as black folk, we cry racism all day. But then if this happened to us by a group of white men, now we want to get Crump. We want to get Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. We want to protest. We want to have all these meetings. Because why? Now we're using the race card now. But look how this look. White man goes to bar, throwing up what they call gang signs. We know he not in no damn gang. He drunk. You know what I mean? He drunk and he's mocking the black folk because those are the same gang signs y'all be throwing up. And I'm not talking about all black folk. I'm talking about these savages that are in these gangs. Y'all the ones who throw up these gang signs. And he's mocking you with it. You know what I mean? Rather than you call the cops, you decide to be the haters. You decided to be the killers, the lynch mob. And now look, you made the black community look bad. Now the white community is looking at the black community like, here we go again. Here we go. A group of savages beat a white man, strip him naked. Did you have to strip the man naked? What's your fetish with seeing the man naked? Why? Y'all like watching pipe? Y'all like watching white man pipe? Are y'all watching his meat to compare it to yours? Like, what exactly is y'all fetish? Do y'all get turned on by seeing white man butt? What is it with black men always wanting to strip people naked? Let's look at the story again, just in case y'all coming in. You had a couple of savages from the FBA community who decided to take matters in their own hand. Let's go.
Video surfaces of a man police say might have been a victim of a hate crime. This happened after officers say an intoxicated man walked into a Marshall County club and used the N-word when referring to the patrons.
Investigators say that the bar is also a problem spot. They say that they respond to it several times every weekend.
Several times every weekend they respond to that bar, guys. That's not a little quiet spot. They respond to that place several times. So it's not just this white guy that pulled up using the N-word. That place is a problem place, and it's typical in the black community, guys. In the black community, you will always have issues like this, and y'all know this, man. Some of y'all decent, listen, some of you decent black folk that go to work, come home, try to live your life in peace. You see this type of stuff every day. Some of you ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You're decent, you have a clean home, you go to work, you go to school, you come home, you stay out of the way. You have to walk past these animals every single day, and it's frustrating you all the time. Some of y'all trying your best to move out. Y'all trying your best to relocate, but for now, you got to stay in these environments. You got the bars, you got the restaurants, you got all this stuff, and all you see is violence, gunshots, shootings, madness, drugs, ninjas just hanging out all over the place, nobody wanting to go to work, and it's just sick. Imagine how black women see us black men when they see us every day standing on the corner with our pants sagging, with a Henny glass and a blunt on one hand, and we're sitting there talking about, yeah, you know, I mean, hey yo shorty, hey yo sister, come in now, let me holler at you. Why the hell would a decent sister want to holler at a dog? Why? Why would a decent black woman want to do that, guys? Does that make any sense? Why would our women want to hang around a man that is out here on the streets all day selling drugs? So you got these kind of black men that are making us look bad. So not only do our women don't have respect for us, but nobody else have respect for us because of what we're doing. Call the police. Y'all think it's cool that this group of savages beat up this white man? Y'all think that's cool? That's not cool, because I don't see the news media spinning it as if though it's cool. It's making y'all look bad. It's making the black community look bad. Matter of fact, they're not even focusing on the fact that he used the N-word. They're more focused on the fact that black people put pause on this white man. And see, this is why you got to separate yourself from ninjas, man, because you even have people in the comments. Somebody said, yes, it's cool. See what I mean? Thomas says, yes, it's cool. These are the kind of savages from the FBA community that you got to really think about, because they're making black folk look like savages. Imagine, you said it's cool. Okay. So the next time a group of white men, matter of fact, let me speak to the white community for a second. Next time you folks from the white community, whether you're Klansmen, racist, whatever your affiliation is, next time you guys decide to beat the crap out of a black man and strip him naked and burn him alive, I want you to know that according to black folk, it's cool to do that, because a black man named Thomas says, yes, it's cool. Okay, so next time we hear a story about a group of white men that decide they want to be racist and hateful and attack a black man and beat him to a pulp, I want y'all all to remember Thomas' comment that says it's cool. So I don't want to hear no crying, because if a white man do it to you guys, it's cool. Remember? So don't cry when it happened. Let's get back to the content. Let's go.
Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson is live outside CJ's Lounge on Memphis Street in Holly Springs. So Daniel, how is this man police are calling a victim?
Notice the police call the man a victim. You would have thought that the police would have been like, wait a minute, we're going to charge him with using slurs and X, Y, and Z. But no, you know why? Because it amplified itself. It went from one thing to an extreme. Now the white man is the victim now. You see that? The white man is now the victim.
Daryl and Darcy, good evening to you. Good evening.
And here's another thing, guys. You black folks from the FBA community don't understand how white people entrap you and make you react, bro. Listen, I grew up in the hood, bro, but I went to an all-white high school in Bensonhurst, bro, in Brooklyn. I went to an all-white junior high and high school. And while being around white folk, I learned a lot, man. All the white friends that I had, they used to tell me all the secrets. They used to be like, be very careful when white people try to provoke you. And I'm like, what do you mean provoke you? He was like, well, what they'll do is they'll be very sarcastic. They will try their best to provoke you, to get you to respond, to get you to react out of anger. And then when you get angry and you react, they normally have a camera rolling somewhere. they normally have other white folk that are witnesses. So not only do they got witnesses, but they got video camera, and they will even get to the point where you'll strike them and they'll get injured. So now they got medical records, and then they'll file lawsuits and sue you. And they put me on to exactly how it goes. And it works that way even in communities where you live. Sometimes you might have a crazy neighbor. You might have neighbors that will provoke you, want you to get out of character so that they can now have a file on you. They could call the police. They got ring camera footage. They got other neighbors' ring camera footage. They got witnesses, and it only shows you being the aggressor. It makes them look good. But the thing is, they use the bait. They use bait to bait you in, made you get angry, made you do something first. Even if you punch the person in the face, now they got you on assault charges, they got you on misdemeanor charges, and possibly felony charges. And before you know it, you're off to prison. Matter of fact, in certain communities, especially HOA communities, there are certain rules where if you're a person who is violent or a person who can cause harm to other residents, they can get to the point where they could literally get you out of the community. Literally. So you got to be very careful with how you conduct yourself in these streets, because, you know, fighting with neighbors, being a nuisance, pulling guns and getting crazy, they could vote you up on out of there, bro. You know, they end up putting a lien on your house, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They'll pack you up on out of there. So they do these things, and black folk don't know the rules. They just react out of emotions. Imagine a bunch of guys in a bar, y'all all drunk. So it's not just the white man who's intoxicated. The black folk in the bar was intoxicated. That's why they're focusing only on the white man being beat. They're not looking at it as he's just the only one intoxicated. No, the bar is a problem area. And we don't know why that man was there. They just want to say, oh, intoxicated white man. Y'all don't know what these black folks was doing. That man probably was attacked earlier, started mouthing off, and they dust him off. It is what it is. Let's go.
You at home. They say he didn't go to the hospital until today. He believes he may have a broken jaw. Meanwhile, CJ's Lounge is now closed. Police say that they were operating without a beer or a business license.
Now notice that. You want to talk about the white man is so innocent, but check out what the bar doing. What did they do, sir? Please explain to me what's going on.
They were operating without a beer or a business license.
So they were operating without a beer license or a business license. Thomas, do you care to talk about that? Thomas, do you care to talk about the fact that this black establishment from the FBA community was operating without a beer license or a business license at all? Are they innocent? I want to know. You said it has nothing to do with racism. See, this is the problem with these savages. So you believe that it's okay to go into business, right? Operate a bar. Now notice that everybody's drunk in this bar, but you don't have a beer license. You believe that's normal, right? Now you want to say they all wrong? See, this is what I mean, man. This is what I'm saying. Which one is worse? Which one is worse? Operate an establishment with no proper licensing, no proper documents. And this is why in the black community, you can never have a business. This is why black-owned businesses don't get the support they get, because you have these kind of savages that start businesses, and we know they're not paying taxes. We know that. Because if they don't got the proper licensing, we know they're not paying taxes. So they shut it down. And this is why nobody take you serious when you try to go into business. You know, this doesn't make any sense. If you're going to run a business, fam, get the proper licensing, especially if you serve in beer and beverages. You gotta have the proper licensing. And if you don't have that, when you have these issues, I can guarantee you they don't got no liability insurance. So they're going to most likely be paying for the medical bills of the white man. The white man will end up suing So they're going to be paying for his medical bills. I guarantee you. Listen, his family going to get involved. Bubba and Billy going to get involved. And they're going to take the bar to town. And this is why you guys always lose, because you don't have the proper documentation. And when you get to court, the judge is going to be like, so hold up. You guys, your patrons beat this man to a pulp. You don't have proper licenses to run and operate your business, but you want us to look at you like you're a victim? No. And the white man is going to end up getting paid. It's not worth it, guys. It don't make no sense. Let's get back at the tape.
Holly Springs police say cell phone footage they provided to Fox 30.
Cell phone footage, another thing that black folk love to do. Incriminating themselves with cell phones. Imagine this thing. You savages got the white man, right? And I'm pretty sure there is raw, uncut footage of this circulating on social media. I can promise you, because if the news media was able to get this footage, the footage uncut, unedited is online somewhere where black folk are recording themselves committing crimes.
News shows a Tippah County man who has been stripped naked. They say the people who attacked him are seen pouring on him what investigators believe to be beer.
Pouring beer on a man that is naked, beaten, intoxicated, and this is what the black community, the FBA community, has done. I want to know, how is this normal? Are you telling me that this is a good thing for the black community? Does this make us look good, or does this make us look bad? Which one?
Officers say seconds before, they hit, kicked, and stumped nearly every part of his body.
The guy walked in and he was very aggressive.
Miles Stone says he was at CJ's Lounge on Memphis Street late Saturday night.
Just look at how congested and packed that place is. It just looked like a place where crime happens, bro. Y'all know good and well that when you bring a collective of black folk in one setting, there's bound to be some sort of crime. Y'all all know this already. Anybody that's from the hood, you know good and well on the weekend, if there's too many black folk in one place, somebody gonna get stabbed, shot, there's gonna be a fight. Because we don't know how to have fun, right? Without killing somebody.
Sunday morning.
Other guys in the area was listening, trying to remain calm. We asked them, they asked for him to leave quietly.
But police say the man continued to...
The man is literally can't even stand straight. He drunk, he intoxicated. Call the police. What happened to calling the police? You know why they didn't call the police? Because if the police came, they was going to shut down that place. Why? Because they don't have the proper licensing, guys. They don't have the proper licensing. But yet, they decided to take matters in their own hand and beat the man to a pulp. That's going to make the police come now.
The patrons the N-word. Holly Springs police provided another video of the man outside the bar, speaking erratically, throwing what investigators believe to be gang signs.
When they was scuffling and stuff outside, he was still trying to fight. He still was saying the N-word. Man, F-U-Ns, F-U-Ns.
I'm glad, because at the end of the day, y'all beating him up and he's still calling you N-word. So what did that solve? Y'all busy beating him up. Now all of y'all gonna get arrested. Bar shut down. Money stopped. Y'all fumbled the bag. Y'all fumbled the bag, bro. Because here's the thing. Y'all pouring beer, alcohol, or whatever the case is on this man. Look like y'all were trying to set the man on fire, bro. You know? Look like y'all were trying to kill him. So this is not going to end well. They shut down the bar, guys. And they filmed themselves committing crimes. This is what the black community does, guys. This is what they do. And it makes us as black folk look bad. This is why the FBA community should be ashamed, because they don't speak on these issues. Instead, they always focusing on white men and, oh, we're being oppressed and, you know, we're looking for reparations. And, you know, nobody don't want to hear that junk, fam. You need to clean up your damn community.
Officers say the attackers used poles and sticks to beat him.
Poles and sticks to beat him, but yet we want to talk about Amadou Diallo. We want to talk about when the police brutally sodomized Amadou Diallo with a damn baton. We want to talk about the nightstick of Amadou Diallo. We want to talk about being beat. We want to talk about what's the other guy that started the LA riots, man? What's his name, guys? It happened so long ago, I forgot his name. The brother that was beat to a pulp by the police, and it started the LA riots. Rodney King, is that his name? Is his name Rodney? Rodney King, right? Okay. Rodney King beating. Y'all remember that? Okay, they were beating him with sticks and batons and nightsticks and all that other stuff. Okay, so what's the difference, guys? Because black folk was doing the same thing to this white man. Now what you guys have to understand is this. You guys have to put it all together. How do you think the white community looks at this and what they think? What do you think that's going through their mind? Some of y'all might say F the white community and what they think. Well, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you got to look at this. When they see this, they see savages, they see animals, they see black folk acting a fool, beating up one of their people. You know what I mean? And they're saying to themselves, look at what you guys do. So it's okay for you guys to operate like this, but yet if something happened to one of your people, you want to call racism. So what is this? So now you can fully expect, you can bet your bottom dollar. There is coming a situation where a couple of white boys is going to get some get back, and there's going to be a bar. You're going to have a black guy coming in. He's going to be a little intoxicated, and they're going to go to town on him. All I'm saying is when it happened, please don't tell me that I'm being a Sambo or a coon for reporting on the story, because I know how some of you ninjas are on social media. You love to call people names when they speak truth. But this right here is a hate crime. See? Bar attack, possible hate crime. Why? Because it's a white man and you have a bunch of black folk beating him. Look like y'all want to damn near sodomize him. Because why y'all stripped him naked? To the black man that stripped him naked, what is your fetish with wanting to see the white man butt? Why y'all wanted to see the white man butt?
Well, you know, I just wanted to see his butt. You wanted to see his butt, Billy? Yeah, I wanted to see his butt because, you know, he should have never called us an N-word. But why we stripped him, though? I mean, Ringo got a point. I mean, we over here looking at man butt and man meat. This doesn't make any sense, Billy. Well, I don't care, bro. I don't care. Shoot, we humiliating him. Calling us the N-word. I cannot stand these crackers. This ain't right. But I mean, we look kind of suspect, though. Now that I think about it, who pulled down his pants first? This ain't right, bro. Which one of you brothers pulled down the white man pants first? Now that I think about it, that's suspect. Ah, bro.
See, the question is who pulled down the man's pants first? Whoever pulled down that man's pants, y'all got to hold that brother accountable, because the question is, bro, why you pull down a man's pants though? That's going too far. Again, I don't condone none of it. None of the fighting or none of that stuff over the N-word. Nah, that ain't even worth it, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not throwing hands because a white man called me an N-word. I'm just walking away and that's it. As long as you don't come touch my family and none of that other stuff, none of that stuff, I'm not moved by all of that, bro. Shout out to Forever Studios for the $50 support sponsoring the show. It says blessings at Ringo TV Reactions. Salute for the support, fam, sponsoring the work. Did I miss anybody? I think I missed somebody, right? No, I didn't. Shout out to Mason for the support. Says, see, this is why I can't side with these guys, man. And it's the thing that, see, here's the thing, fam. I understand how black folk move. The problem is a lot of our people are not our people, man. They're savages out here, man. I just speak the truth. I don't sugarcoat, and I don't take sides. I speak on what is real. Shout out to Mason for the 5 and another super chat for the 2. Appreciate you sponsoring the work. He says, honestly, I can understand a fight breaking out, but it's always a mountain out of a molehill with the FBAs. And by fight, I only mean a one-on-one. See, that I can understand. I could understand if it was 2 men that some sort of scuffle happened and they started fighting. But when I see men gang up and jump a man, beat him to a pulp, all of y'all straight cowards, bro. Because y'all know y'all outnumber him. That's some old prison grape situation where y'all overpower the man, especially when he's intoxicated. And then y'all strip him naked too. That's how men operate now. We strip men naked, exposing their shame, trying to embarrass him further. Come on, man. You guys are weak, bro. Make y'all look weak. And I'm just saying, when a group of white men do that out in the South somewhere, I don't want to hear none of y'all black folk crying. Because the white community, they have a way of getting get back. They see those kind of stories and they're like, okay, cool. All right, cool. Just remember what you guys did. Just remember what y'all did. Because in the black community, they think everybody's pussy. And I keep telling you, ain't nobody, listen, every ethnic group have their own gangsters. Whether you white, Asian, doesn't matter who you are. There's certain men that not taking no BS from nobody. But when it happens, don't cry now. Because it's coming. You're going to hear about a story of a group of white men that's going to beat the crap out of a black man. They're going to strip him naked and they're going to do worse things to him. And when the story break, I don't want to hear you guys protesting and marching because we're going to pull back up this story. I'm going to pull this one up. Remember, on my platform, I'm fair and balanced. I'm not taking nobody's side. I stand for the truth, whether you're white or black. So and it's coming, when a black man get his tail beat by a group of white men and they set him ablaze or whatever they do to him, I'm bringing back up this video. And I'm going to bring back up the comments from Thomas. I'm going to bring back up the comments from the other person who wrote earlier that was asking questions. Where that comment at? Where that person said, what they said. It says, you think they were wrong. What else? How would you respond in this situation? All of those things I'm going to bring back up to do my content, because all I'm focusing on is being fair. I'm not trying to please the white community or the black community because both communities don't like me. You know what I mean? I'm not a part of none of these groups. I stand for the truth. That's it. That's all I stand for, is the truth. I'm not here to side with nobody. I'm looking at the facts. I'm looking at the details. And what I think was done was wrong. You guys, number one, y'all jumped him. Y'all beat his ass and y'all beat him with sticks. Y'all stomped him out. And he drunk. So you guys could have damn near killed this man. This is attempted murder. This is attempted murder right here. He could have heart conditions, various other problems, and end up dying. Then what? All of y'all would have been on charges right now.
So you don't think this is a problem spot?
I do not think. I think it's a positive spot.
Wow. He said he believes it's a positive spot, guys. Typical ninja behavior. He said he believes it's a positive spot, even though the police have been called to that place multiple times a week, dealing with this type of mess.
But Holly Springs police disagree.
Hollywood Springs disagree. Why? Because they're called there all the time. I remember one time out here in North Carolina, I was talking to an officer and I was like, how's the crime out here? And he was like, well, it's kind of quiet. You know what I mean? It's not really nothing going on. I said, you need to go to New York. You go to New York, you'll probably quit. He was like, he never been to New York. He had a strong country accent. He's like, well, I never been to New York. Out here it's kind of quiet. It's not really that much anything. It's just, just kind of quiet all the time. And I was like, well, if you go to New York, you're going to change. You know what I mean? You could actually talk to police out here. You know what I'm saying? You could talk to police in North Carolina. You can't talk to police in New York. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You know what I mean? Out in New York, they gangsters. The police are part of gangs. You know? I remember one time, the cops stopped me out here because I think it was last summer, and I took my scooter and went for a quick ride to the burger spot, and he pulled over and he was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. Like, let me ask you a question. Do you have a VIN number on that there vehicle? Like, no, don't got no VIN number. This is a scooter, an electric scooter. It's like, wow, electric scooter. Let me check my records real fast. Let me find out from my commander or something like that, he said. He was like, you sure there's no VIN number? I was like, no, you don't got to register this. This is in the gray area of the law. I said, he was like, well, let me ask you another question. How fast does that thing go? Anytime police ask you how fast an electric scooter go, guys, the proper answer is the speed limit. You'll thank me later. I said the speed limit. He said, oh, okay, that's about around 30 miles or 35 miles per hour. I was like, the speed limit. He was like, okay, all right. Anyway, you have a good night. I'm gonna let you off the hook this time. You drive safe. And he just went on about his business. You know? But now if we were in New York, you're going to have to boat on them police. You're going to have to get up on out of there, fam. Because they ain't going to do all of that. And especially if they black. If they black officers or Hispanic, they're going to do you worse than the white cop. With a show of a ones, anybody that's from New York can agree. The black officers and the Hispanic officers will do you more dirty than the white officers. That's a fact. I'm telling you, fam. They do you dirty. They do way more. So I don't want to hear all of that brotherly love stuff, because I know firsthand. Black cop be doing way extra, fam. I remember one time out here, I should have downloaded the video. I think I did. I'm not sure if I did, but I think I did. It was when I was in the house chilling over here, right? And this happened, I think during the wintertime somewhere, but it was a nice sunny day though, right? I think it was like late fall. It was still kind of nice. The weather was nice. And what happened was, I think my wife had went to take two of the girls to school, and one of them stayed home. And the sheriff came by, a black cop and a white cop. I'm looking at the Ring camera. I'm seeing the notification coming in. I see them come in and surround the house and whatnot. Because I got cameras all over the place. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of secret cameras too. So I see everything. You could be coming down from way down that side. I see you coming in. That's right. And I got a special one to catch your license plates. Oh, yeah. Because, you know, in North Carolina, they don't have license plates on the front of the car. You know what I mean? So anyway, long story short, I see the cars outside and I'm like, what the hell? Somebody did something in the community, but I'm wondering why they parked by this house. So I see them get out. You know what I mean? They come walking on the property. I'm like, oh, snap. They coming over here. What the hell going on? Am I being swatted? So they ring the bell. Ding, dong. So all I got on is my damn shorts and whatnot. I'm kind of like, I don't feel like answering the door. So then I'm like, you know what? Maybe something happened. Let me go put on a shirt, go to the door real quick. So I open up the door. I'm like, how can I help you? They're like, did anybody call for help? I'm like, call for help? Nobody called for help. Cop looked at the other cop. He was like, everything's okay. It's like, everything's good. Sure you guys got the right house? It's like, yeah, we received a call that somebody needed help. You sure there's no issue? Like, I guarantee you there's no issue, officers. They're looking at each other like, I'm looking at them like, it's like they reading me, I'm reading them. It's like, okay. Sorry to bother you. You have a good day. Like, you have a good day too, officers. So they get off the property, they go back to their vehicles. But before they go, they stop there and they talking with each other for 5 minutes. So I'm just kind of recording. I typed in the computer and put all the cameras to record simultaneously. I'm just kind of documenting everything. Next minute, they went back to their vehicles. They were checking out my car. Because, you know, I have the Ford Explorer ST. So that's typically what the police use. So they go to their vehicles and they sitting there and they've been there for about a good 15 minutes. Why these cops are still here, bro? Why these cops are still here? So I contact my wife. I'm like, you know, the police outside, they ain't leave yet. What the hell going on? They said something about they received a call and it's an emergency and they came here to check and blah, blah, blah. She said, you know, so-and-so and so have that phone. You know that, right? I was like, what? So come to find out, one of my daughters have a phone, a cell phone. And she probably clicked, you know, like how it has the emergency button, the emergency call thing. She must have clicked that by mistake and it notified the law. So they came by. So I found the phone. It was right on top of her desk. So I'm asking, I'm like, did you press this? You know, kids, they say no automatically. So I knew she did because any parent know when their kid is lying. I could look at all my girls and I know they lying. All I got to do is just look in their eyes and I'm like, did you do it? No, I didn't do it. And I'm like, you lying. So I pick up the phone and I contact my wife back. I was like, yo, you need to come down real quick because we got to go sort this issue out, because if we don't, it's going to still be a ticket on their phone. I know that about law enforcement. They get a ticket and they got to close that ticket. So they're going to stay there. They still got to investigate what's going on. So I tell her to hurry back because I told her my wife went to go take the other girls to school. So I needed that to help with my story so that we can clear the air. Because I don't want them investigating any longer. I want them to be out of my hair, out of my way. So she pulled into the driveway. So I come outside. The officers are still there. So I called one of them over. So he pulled up. And I was like, did you guys get a phone call from a phone? And he was like, yeah, we did. I was like, this is the phone. Could you call back this phone? He called back the phone. Phone rang. I said it was my daughter. My daughter playing around with the damn phone. He was like, oh. He was like, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Now we can pretty much get on out of here because we were very concerned. It's proper protocol that we have to do. We have to make sure everything is good and whatnot. And that was pretty much it. So I was like, wow, you know, that's crazy, man. I don't know if y'all ever been in situations like that, but the cops was pretty much cool. You know, they weren't like New York police. I can tell you, police in North Carolina is way better than New York. Way better than New York. Way better. New York have the worst police, man. I don't know about if they're all bad, but based on my experience, can't talk to them, man. But they were pretty cool. They end up leaving and whatnot. And that was pretty much that. So we gotta really learn from these stories, guys. You know, I understand a lot of you hate me. You're upset with me when I do these type of videos because you think I'm a race traitor. I don't know why you call me a race traitor. I'm just doing content to talk about a story that affects us all. When black savages are beating a man to death and stripping him naked, that reflects on all of us as a whole. And we got to look at this thing logically. The logical thing to do was to call the police so the police can come and arrest the intoxicated man. Because if he's just out there doing all what he's doing, just let him get arrested by the police. But if you take matters in your own hand and you beat him up and he's drunk and you nearly injure this man, that's a bad look on all of us as a whole. It's going to make us look bad. You know how that is. Black savages, black men beating white men, strip him naked. Some people take that personal. So you have to always consider how the white community is also looking at that too, because the white community have their own feelings, their own laws and bylaws that they go by. And when they see a white man getting beat by black men, don't think that they're not talking about that. Don't think that they're just sitting home like, oh, that's just unfortunate for him. No, they're saying, you see these ninjas, you see what these ninjas and savages are doing? You see what they're doing? But yet, if it happened the other way, they want to cry racism. Think about how they're feeling. You know, and you know, some of y'all gonna be like, well, I don't care how they feel. Well, then okay, when it happened to another one of us, don't cry. Don't cry. Because even the police know that that bar is a problem. And I'm glad they shut it down.
You don't think this is a problem spot?
I do not think. I think it's a positive spot.
It's a positive spot, so why they beat that man down? Because he said the N-word? Come on, man. You black men gotta stop being so weak, bro.
But Holly Springs police disagree. The police chief estimates they've been to some 30 calls over the last 3 months.
30 calls, bro. 30 calls at that bar.
CJ's has been open. They say there have been fights, guns found inside, and a man shot in the foot.
Wow. You hearing this, guys? Man shot in the foot, all sorts of crazy stuff. Bar.
Chief tells me they're pushing the district attorney to declare it a nuisance.
A nuisance. So this is beyond this hate crime of these black men beating this white man up. That place is a nuisance to the community. That is what we need to be focusing on in the black community. Getting rid of these bars. Getting rid of these hot spots that are causing chaos and violence. Come on, man.
I'm not standing for anything like that. However, we have to live with our choices, and he made a choice by going into there aggressively, and he has to live with the choice he's made.
Wow, you're talking about he got to live with the choices he made? You guys got to live with the choices you made because now the bar is shut down. Y'all fumbled the bag. Now y'all messed up y'all money. Can't hang out no more. Can't get no beer, no booze. You know what I mean? Y'all messed up big time.
Back out live here in Marshall County. Again, you're taking a look at that letter that was placed on the door. We should mention that police tell us right now they have a person of interest who they would like to speak with. Meanwhile, if you were here, you have information, you're asked to call the Holly Springs Police Department.
You can't expect black folks to call the Holly Springs anything. They're not going to call. And I'm pretty sure the white folk, because I don't know what that community is like. I don't know if white folk is in the area. They should be, most likely. I don't know. You tell me if you live in that area. But I can guarantee you the white folk are probably happy they shut that place down. I know they are. They're like, yes, shut it down. You operating without a license, you deserve to be shut down. They don't supposed to be in business, you know? Caramel says they not getting rid of them bars because it's entertainment. Sad people don't know how to act. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a bar. We're not saying all bars need to be, gotten rid of. Some people need to have their spots to hang out. You know what I'm saying? I've been at bars. I hanged out. I like the karaoke bars and, you know what I'm saying? Get a drink in here and there. I used to hang out with my buddies at the job. We used to have fun with the ladies. It was always lit. You know what I mean? So there's a place for bars. What I'm saying is you operating without a license. You're not running your business properly. You're beating up people, come on, man. You can't have that in front of your business, bro. An establishment, a place of business, we're not having that, bro. If I'm the business owner, y'all not fighting in front of my store, bro. I'm going to make sure that all my patrons understand that. Y'all going to respect my place of business. Because when y'all out there fighting, acting crazy, that's going to come back on me. I'm going to end up getting shut down. You know what I mean? So we got to keep things business and keep it respectful. If y'all want to come, have y'all drinks, have a good time, party, have a nice vibe, that's all welcome. That's why we have this business here for. But y'all not going to run me out of business after I work so damn hard to establish this place. So we're going to have a no fighting policy. We're going to have this and that. We're going to have everything in place. You know, we might even have some security or whatever the case is, or even have a connection with law enforcement. That way we can have some presence of law enforcement in case. But this was a problem spot. I'm surprised it didn't get shut down already because they had so many complaints so many times. The police been there. They get tired of this place, man. And some officers, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You get called out to a place over and over and over. And it's like, damn, every other weekend we here. You guys got to get it together, man. Get it together. People getting shot at the bar, fights, people getting, beat, stripped naked. Come on, man. That's not a business place, bro. That's a damn zoo. You know? Said law enforcement was outside all the time. So let me get this straight. So law enforcement was basically post up there due to the amount of violence. And that's crazy, man. Yeah, it's good if they shut it down, man. They had to shut it down. I've seen places in New York get shut down because of stuff like this, where it's a damn zoo with a bunch of animals, bro. You know? Bunch of animals. I've been to bars where everything been good, peaceful. You might be inside the bar drunk. You might be inside the bar having a good time, laughing and just having a great time. And everything is run with decency and order. Sometimes you might, have somebody at the bar, they drinking. He like, let me get another drink. Tender's like, nah, fam, you good, man. No more drinks for you, man. And then we all agree. We're like, hey, no more drinks for him, man. Don't give him no more drinks, man. You just sit there and sit it off, man. Sometimes we just take them right there, put them by the back of the bar over there. They have like this little lounge area. You just stay there and relax, bro, till it's time for us to go. And everything used to be good. So when I'm looking at this situation with people fighting and killing one another, I'm like, nah, that's not a bar, bro. A bar supposed to be a hangout spot where everybody having a good time. Everybody. And what's so crazy is when you in the bar, you cool with everybody. I don't know about y'all, but they had a spot out in New York that you walk in the bar, everybody friendly with everybody. Everybody having a good time. Everybody, especially when they turn on the karaoke and everybody just acting a fool, it's just fun all damn day. Everybody having a good time. And then when it's time to go, everybody leaving. Hey, see you next weekend, man. Hey, hey, man, we had a blast, bro. It was fun. But now when you got stuff like this, it just ruins it for everybody, man. Can't even go out no more and hang out. Close that damn bar, bro. Shut it down. Well, again, let me see who said that. Evans says police officers never thought once to investigate a problem spot. Well, I think that it's not that they need to. You get what I'm saying? There's no need to dig into whether or not they have all the proper documents. You would assume that it's a place of business. They got all the proper paperwork. You know what I mean? It's only but so much that they can deal with. So then after this situation, they probably went on to investigate and found, oh, this place don't even have proper licensing. And then they shut it down. Officers cannot just come into your place of business and ask you for all of this information just like that. There got to be a reason for this. You know what I mean? So after a certain amount of times, they just say, you know what? They investigated. Now they found out. The dirty laundry of that bar came up and now it gets shut down. It is what it is. So what do we have to learn from this situation? If somebody's drunk and they use the N-word, leave that person alone, call the law, let the police come deal with the problem, bro. Because if you put hands on him, you're going to get arrested for assault because the man is intoxicated and you out here fighting. It don't make no sense. I'm not fighting no white man for calling me an N-word. I'm just walking away. I look at it like this. As long as you don't come on my property, as long as you don't F around with my family and my kids, I don't got no problem with you. You can say all the words you want to say. You can say all the racial slurs. I don't care about that. I'm not going to lose my freedom and put myself in jeopardy and destroy my family over some emotional nonsense. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm built different. But if you F around with my kids, my wife, my family, come on the property with some sort of violence, you're going to understand. Because now I'm going to be justified in doing what I need to do to protect my family. But if I'm out and about and a white man says, you N-word, blah, 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 man, I'm walking away. Because I'm a better man than him. I got so much to lose. I'm not wasting my time. I'm getting in the car. I'm out. I'm not even wasting my time with that. Some of y'all that feel y'all got to prove something to somebody, y'all just being foolish, bro. Not over no damn word, bro. That word don't mean nothing to me, bro. That word, I still, listen, to this day, I don't understand how we in 2025 and black folk are still being triggered by that word. But yet you use that word on each other every single day. I don't get it, man. You can't be a hypocrite. If you're going to complain about white folk using the N-word, you got to stop using the N-word in the black community. You got to stop using that word. You can't just complain, oh, these white racists and nah. Listen, every white person is not a racist. You got some white folk that are racist. You know what I'm saying? Listen, in every community, there's a racist. Just like in every black community, there are black people that hate white people. Right on social media, you got black folk that hate white people. All they do is make videos talking about white oppression and they're oppressing us. And the white man ain't doing a damn thing to you, but you thinking about him all damn day. That's why you can't prosper. Because you think about white people too much. White folks stay out of the way. They mind their business. They're focusing on their family like they supposed to. How about you do the same? And just be respectful. Wherever you are, be respectful. I'm respectful towards all people. It's when you disrespect me, I can't rock with you. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what your nationality is. If you're respectful towards me, I'm going to be respectful towards you. That's just the way I am. If you be disrespectful towards me, I'm not going to react and be disrespectful toward you. I'm just going to ignore you. I'm never going to speak to you. Never. I will never speak to you, fam. I will kill you by just ignoring you. And I will never speak to you until that burns you up. You know what I mean? Why? Because I cannot rock with people that are disrespectful, especially when I never disrespected you. I don't like that. If we grown men, let's be grown men about whatever it is, like men. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to respond with no emotional stuff. I'm not doing that because I want to be respected in the community. I don't want to be that person in the community that everybody's talking about in a negative way. Oh, he's the violent one. Oh, he's the one that, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be the guy that everybody in the community going to respect. They're going to be like, oh, who, that guy right there? Oh, he don't bother nobody. Oh, he just stays out the way. He just minds his business, focus on his family, focus on the yard, and that's it. That's how they see you. Whether they know you personally or not, people in your community is always watching you. You know what I mean? And then you have the HOA that watch you. Then you have HOA board members that watch you. Everybody's watching you. So you got to be a respectful person, no matter what. Don't let somebody get you out of character. This is what black folk got to learn. Learn this. Don't let people get you out of character to the point you're responding out of emotion. You won't catch me running outside, flipping and wilding out. I remember the other day I told you some situation happened when I was working on the yard. I think I was first doing some work and you had a black guy walking with a dog. He pissed me off, bro. Pissed me off because I told him don't walk on the yard. This is my area, bro. If I tell you don't walk on the yard, respect, bro. Don't continue doing it because now you're being disrespectful. I can't rock with that, bro. So it doesn't matter if you're white or black. You know what I mean? He was supposed to humble himself and be like, my bad, bro. Won't do it again. That's all. Because I can't go on your yard and do that. I can't go on your yard and walk my dog and make my dog piss on your yard, bro. You understand what I'm saying? It's called being respectful. That's all it is. But some people figure, well, I don't gotta be respectful. I could just do what I want. And they figure they're gonna get you out of character. I didn't get out of character. I just will ignore that person forever. Literally forever. I won't have nothing to do with that person. Nothing. Because as a man, when you wrong a man, you're supposed to apologize. That's what a man is supposed to do. So in other words, the very same guy who did whatever he did, he would have to apologize like a man. He would have to literally pull up and be like, sir, the other day when such and such happened, you know what I mean? I was being very disrespectful. I apologize. I'm bad. I did bad right there, bro. So, you know what I mean? You would have to man up about that. You know? If not, I'm just going to never talk to you. I don't have a problem ignoring people, bro. And it happens all the time. Sometimes you might have a neighbor that might do something stupid and I can't rock with you. Once you do something out of character, fam, I can't, bro. Because again, I don't know your intentions. I don't know what's going through your mind and I don't want to find out. So I'd rather stay to myself because I know if I get really pissed off, somebody going to get hurt. So I'm just going to stay to myself, protect my peace. But I'm not going to entertain you because if you already did something that crossed the line, I know what can happen. I could end up in prison. I can end up doing something that will affect your family. You may do something affect my family, and it's going to be a war. So what's best? You stay on your side, I stay on my side, and we just don't talk to each other. That's the best solution. You know? So now in that community, the bar is now closed. It may be safer now until the owner reopen it because you know that's going to end up happening. He's going to get his proper paperwork. He's going to get his licensing and then they're going to open back up the business. I've seen this happen all the time. He's going to go get the right documents and then they're going to open back up the place and there's going to be problems all over again. Because I don't know if they shut down that place forever. They probably shut it down because he don't have the proper paperwork. You know? It don't make no sense. Let me see. Somebody says, so 20 to 30 black men were supposed to just let that man go for attacking a black man because of his race. Most ignore it, but family hangs at that spot. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. What men are supposed to do is go call the police. Because I'm more concerned about what the law says, you know. Higher Viber says he ran back in an establishment, closing into a grown black man's face and pushing him. So what you do in that situation? Call the police. Is your life in danger? Man is intoxicated. He could be restrained. Police can come and deal with the situation. See, I think a lot of people just want to go to jail. I think a lot of people just want to either lose their freedom. I'm not a stupid person. I know basic law and what I can and can't do. You know what I mean? That's like walking around with my Second Amendment and I'm at a bar and somebody do something stupid and I figure, okay, let me kill him because I feel my life is in danger. Just because you got a gun doesn't mean you got to use it now. You know? Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you have to use it. It doesn't mean you have to shoot somebody. You can de-escalate. You know what I'm saying? You can de-escalate. You don't have to pull out your gun and flex. You don't have to do none of that stuff. You don't have to act like you're Sylvester Stallone and Rambo. You don't have to do none of those things. Learn how to de-escalate and step out of a situation. Especially when you know you have the upper hand. If I know I got my gun and I can literally cause great bodily harm against you, I'm not going to exercise all that extra stuff. I'm just going to call the police, let them do what they got to do, because I already know what I could do. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to send your family to a funeral. I don't want to do all this extra stuff. I don't want to deal with all the paperwork. I don't want to deal with the courts. I just want to go home. All right. But now if it crossed that kind of line and I have to do what I got to do, then it is what it is, man. But it's not worth it. Over an N-word? It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. A man call you the N-word and you want to fight and kill? Nah, it's not worth it. That's not a reason to harm somebody. Bodily harm, it's not worth it, man. If somebody do something to your kids, yes. I'm pretty sure every father viewing, whether white or black, if somebody do something to your kids, it's on site. Listen, I don't care about no damn prison and cops. If you violate my kids, bro, bam, you're done. It's over. I don't care about nothing else. Nothing matters. I'm gonna get some get back. Somebody gonna pay. Because I ain't playing with that. And I'm pretty sure every father agree. You mess with somebody's kids, you're done. You're finished. But at the same time, before you react, you need to find out if it be true. Don't just take words and run with emotion. See how I did that? You see how I just did that, right? Because somebody could say, they harm your son or they harm your daughter. What? And you go grab guns and do whatever. You got to first of all find out if it be true. Then react. Don't just go react. Because next minute you go do something to somebody and they never bothered your child, bro. Now you in prison for life. So you need to first of all find out. If it be true that that man did whatever or that woman touched your kids or whatever the case is, it's on site for them. I'm showing no mercy. The police can come lock me up. You fuck around with my kids, you dying. I'm telling you straight. You could clip the video too. You mess with my kids, you're done. I don't give a fuck about no damn law. I'm the law. You're talking about kids. I'm not playing around with that. And I'm pretty sure every man would agree. But you have to find out first what happened. And it goes for anything. If a man do anything towards kids, it's going to be a problem. It's just something that you're just not supposed to do. Like I seen a story I got to talk about with some damn FBA killer. Another FBA story, guys, of a dude, a FBA black man killed his pregnant girlfriend. Killed her. Then guess what he did after that? It's an older story. Took, I believe, the 2-year-old and threw him off a bridge. That's right. We're going to talk about that story later on. An FBA black man killed his pregnant girlfriend, then took the child and threw the child over a bridge into the water. The child is dead. And this is what these black men are doing to these women and kids. These savages. But you got a problem with me because I'm calling it out. These women are not even safe. This is why, ladies, you got to be careful dealing with these ninjas. Stop dealing with these savages and these thugs because this is what's going on. We're going to talk about that story later. I'm fed up and I'm tired of this. I'm tired of seeing these kids getting killed by these savages, man. Imagine you taking your child and throwing the child over the bridge. What is in your brain, bro? That man needs to be beaten to death and thrown in boiling oil. Boiling oil. Serious, man. Stuff like that. You're not supposed to just kill him. You're supposed to torture him, bro. When you kill kids like that. See, y'all lucky, man. If I was in power and I'm running this nation, bro, and making these laws, I'm telling you, you criminals that be doing these kind of crimes, fam, you will be tortured to death, bro. I'm not playing, bro. You're not just going to get put to death and it's easy. No, you're going to be, man, I tell you, man. I tell you, bro. We're going to keep you alive long enough to punish you for killing these kids. Imagine what went through that child's mind knowing that the protector that's supposed to be protecting them lifts him up, throws him off of a bridge. There's a special place in hell, man, for people like that kill kids and harm women. Nobody else would agree with that type of evil, bro. I couldn't believe it. But we're going to talk about it later on, guys. We're going to talk about it later, man. So, hey, leave your comments. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe. I think we just hit 176,000 subscribers. So I appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel, supporting the show. Yeah, man. This is crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Let me see. I don't know why I keep getting all this spam text. Spam, bro. Every day, bro. Yeah, June 1st is the birthday show. Be sure to show up, guys. June 1st, we are going live at midnight. Midnight, June 1st. And also, guys, the brother yesterday that I did the live stream for, condolences to his family for their loss. He had lost his mom. His name is Charles. That's his name. I retitled the video with his proper name and his mother's name. I will be updating the thumbnail also later. He gave me permission to publish her photo. Like I said, the brother was pretty much busy taking care of family business, so he didn't really see my response. I was hoping that he would have seen it because I wanted to do more. Like I wanted to, I was going to actually do the live stream later on in the night, like the evening, nighttime, because I wanted to do more with it. You know what I mean? Like get some animation stuff and, you know, make it look very nice and stuff, you know? So it's not a problem. The video was still good. You know, he had hit me back up saying he appreciate that. I think some of his relatives was in the comment section. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, it's a rough thing, man, when you lose your mom, bro. But hopefully the brother and his family are at peace and they're able to grieve and go through the motions of what they got to do with, and find out what happened, man. So funny that the brother was born the same year as me. He had told me in the text he was born the same year as me. So he's older than me by like 5 months, I believe. Like 4 or 5 months. So he was born in 77 too. So that's interesting. And you know what's so crazy too? The age that his mom died, yo, same age as my mom, bro. That's crazy. Same exact age, bro. That's wild. He told me her age. She had just turned, I'm not sure if he said 63 or 64. I think it's 64 or 60. I'm not sure, but it's the same age as my mom. Same exact age. That's crazy. You know, but anyway, guys, we're going to get up on out of here. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Appreciate you clicking the like button. Let's click that like button, fam. Let's get those likes up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Do what we got to do. Right? I'll catch you guys later on. We're going to do more content later on, guys. I got a lot of things I got to do. Waiting for this lawn to warm up because I got to mow it down. Got to mow it down because I got to shoot some video. But nonetheless, guys, y'all have a blessed day. Be safe out there. Drive safe. Call your mom, call your dad, tell them that you love them. And yeah, man, everybody have a good day, man. Just have a blessed day, bro. You know? Said Geminis have a split personality. Nah. Geminis is number one. Geminis are very intelligent, very smart. And the reason why a lot of people say we're two-faced, it's not that we're two-faced. It's just that we're, I can say, multifaceted. We're able to adapt to every situation. We're, how can I say, we're good at a lot of things. It's not just one thing. I'm good at a lot of different things. And you know, we're just misunderstood. So they say stuff that is weird, like, oh, he's two-faced, he's this and that. That don't make no sense. Anyway, guys, we're out of here, man. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings. Catch y'all in the next video, man. We out of here, y'all. Y'all take care. Peace. We out.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/RingoTVRaw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at RingoTVRaw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out.